YouTube, what is going on? Today we have the BlackBrick Great 8. So we're going to be finding out just how great is the Great 8. Let's get into it. That is right, guys. This is BlackBrick's brand new 8-inch sub. Good looking little guy. We'll look at it here in a sec, but first, let's go over the specs of this fella. At the moment, this thing is $99.99. So we have a stamped steel basket, non-pressed paper cone, soft foam for round for easy excursion. There's a dual voice coil sub, 250 watts RMS, 2-inch high temp copper coil, 60 ounce FEA motor, 16 millimeters of XMAX, which is pretty good for an 8-inch sub. FS is 49.16 hertz. BL is 15.244. Frequency response is 30 to 350 hertz. And the sensitivity is 82.3 dB. And then here are some box specs that they recommend for this sub. Okay, first off, we of course have the nice, slick, just black look that you get with any of your BlackBrick products. A very stiff center cap, pretty stiff cone as well. There's this nice looking surround that is double stitched to the cone. Of course, have our traditional stamped steel basket. Now, I like these terminals. They feel really, really nice. Looks like you could very easily fit 12 or even 10 gauge wire in there. Another thing I really like are these tinsel leads. They have the nice, bigger, flat tinsel leads, and they are very nicely sewn into this beautiful red spider. And there you can see that nice 2-inch copper coil. And then we have a nice fat motor on this guy. Very, very cool to see. And we of course have plenty of venting as well for the motor, and it does have a nice boot over it. So overall, very simple, but very nice looking little fella. Now I went ahead and got a prefab box for this guy. This is the Scar prefab box. I really have liked these Scar boxes. I've used a bunch of them in a lot of my videos. If you're wanting something that is not gonna completely break the bank, but still is gonna be tuned nicely and just overall be a good, decent quality box, these boxes are the way to go. One issue though, I've noticed with a lot of them, not all of them, but definitely a lot of them, they come pre-wired with some wire, but it is not long enough to be useful whatsoever. Come on, Scar. Don't be such tightwads. Give us another like 3 inches of wire and this would be totally fine. So far, having a good old time with this little guy. Now, obviously, an 8-inch sub in this massive of a car is not going to really sound really, really loud. And I'm sure, especially on camera, it's not going to seem anything crazy at all. But if this was in a little car, I think it would be awesome. It does really deliver some nice musical bass. Definitely has some really nice punch to it, and does play that 40 to like 35 hertz not too terribly at all. Okay, well, what we really want to see is the 250 watts on this guy an accurate rating musically. So we're going to play a song, keep it around the 250 mark, as close as we can, see if it can make it through or if it'll go up in smoke. Let's get into it. Okay, the song is about 3 minutes. We got the AM1 hooked up. Make sure she's good to go. Let's see how this does. Okay, for the last half of that song, I had that bumped up a little bit to where it stood above 250 watts pretty much the entire time. It was even peaking up to 400 watts. And she made it through, no problem. Feels good. No real noticeable heat anywhere. No smells, no stinks. So, y'all, in my opinion, from a musical RMS standpoint, this guy is rated well. Next up, let's do the DB test, y'all. Now, just as a reminder, this sub is tiny, so we're not going to get a crazy score whatsoever. But hey, we'll see what it can do, and we'll see how much of power of a burst we can put through this guy. Maybe we'll blow it, but maybe it'll be just fine. Okay, we've got my SMD AM1 set to dyno power. We've got the mini bass meter hooked up down there, so let's try 45 hertz, see what it does. Okay, there's 244 watts. And we got a 124.8. Time 424 watts. All right, that time we got a 127.3. Okay, we put 700 watts through it. And we got a 128.3. All right, put a 1147 watts through it. Well, we got a 129.5. Y'all, maybe we can break 130 with this little guy. Okay, let's see if we do any better. Now, this thing is rising to like almost 10 ohms, so we're not getting crazy power potential, but let's see what we do. That time, 1200 watts. Ah, and there we go, guys. We broke that 130. So we turned it up, but we did not get any more power, so we must be kind of maxing out the amp since we are rising all the way to almost 10 ohms there. Y'all, that is crazy. I had the sub wired up to 4 ohms, but the box rise is ridiculous. But anyway, there it is, a 1181 watts. And we got a 131. Like I said, not going to get a crazy score with just a single 8-inch sub in a massive SUV like this, but seem to do all right. Sub still feels fine, so let's pull it out of the box, make sure everything looks good to go on it. Okay, everything looks to be in order. Don't see any tearing around the spider anywhere. No damage around the tinsel leads. So looking pretty good. Let's make sure both of these coils are still good. Okay, that coil is reading 1.7. That's perfect. This one says 1.5, 1.6, so both coils are good to go. Y'all, it is chilly up here, but we're knocking these videos out for y'all. So anyway, what'd y'all think of this little guy? Pretty cool little sub. I love the nice, big old beefy motor on this guy, and overall, it really did pretty well. Again, I know the video doesn't do any of these subs justice, but especially not a little fella like this, but it really does sound good. If you want some clean bass, maybe a little bit more on the punchy side, getting this along with that Scar box, put in, probably a little smaller car, I think this would be an awesome setup. Or maybe you had like a truck build, you want to do some under the seat 8-inch subs. If you got 2 or 4 of these things, y'all, that would smash. Well, guys, it sounded good. It took power, no problem. Overall, I'm impressed. Let me know what you think. Definitely go check out BlackBrick. Really appreciate them supporting the channel by sending me this sub and a couple others that I have done in the past. Really helps me out a lot, so I appreciate you guys so much. Y'all, there'll be a link for the sub in the description down below. And should you want to get that cigar box, there will be an affiliate link to that sub as well. Y'all, if you click on that affiliate link before ordering, it just helps out the channel a little bit. I get a small percentage of that. And guys, that really helps out more than y'all know. So I really appreciate each and every one of you. Also, if you want an awesome custom bass knob or RCA distribution block, go check out Knob Concepts. They make some really cool stuff. Well, Basshead family, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Remember, guys, as always, keep bassing on.